This episode of Around the Oval is brought to you by Todd Pennington with Renovation Mortgage.
Hey, Ohio State fans, Alex Gleitman here, back with another edition of Around the Oval, brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage. We are back this week, and we have a special guest from the Garden State, my home state, Don Bosco Prep 2023 offensive tackle, Chase Bisontis. Chase, appreciate you joining the show today, man. How you doing?
Good. Had practice today, and we're working real hard with Don Bosco and get ready for the season.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited to get out and see you guys play at least once, if not a few times this year. Definitely going to be a big year for you guys, your whole team, Coach Sabella, the rest of the squad. Looking at your rankings, it's exciting. I know Rivals just came out. They have you 29th overall. I think in the composite, you're 42nd overall. So I'm excited personally to see you see what you have in store, and I think you could go even higher than that. I know you do too, and I think you're one of the best offensive tackles, not just in this area, but in the entire country. Tell us a little bit though about how camp's going so far and some of the things you've been working on this offseason that you feel like you've improved year over year since your sophomore season.
So camp's going real well. We just started getting shoulder pads and helmets, so that's been awesome, getting to hit people for the first time and really coming together as a team. Camp I've been working on my pass set with the fast guys, because I think I'm a great run blocker and I could deal with the big guys. So I've been really working on speed.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, I know you were at a bunch of camps this summer, including Ohio State's camp, where you got to work with some of the best college offensive line coaches in the country. We'll talk a little bit about where you went in just a minute, but I imagine in addition to working with your own trainers and your own coaches at Bosco, that experience had to have helped you prepare for this year as well.
Yeah, definitely. Also, not only the field work, but this winter, we've been working real hard in the off season, and it was difficult because COVID and wear masks and 10 people in a weight room at a time. But we definitely worked and took the time that we had to our advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's good that this year, not that we're still in the pandemic, things actually are in a weird place right now, but it's definitely better than last year where you guys weren't even sure if there was going to be a season and there was many more restrictions. So I know as media, we couldn't get to too many games. I'm excited to be able to get outside and while we can and see you guys in action. Now let's talk about your recruitment a little bit. It's still early relatively. There obviously are guys in your class starting to commit and things like that. But I know for you, it's definitely early. You were getting a good feel for some of the schools you were able to visit for the first time this summer. How's everything going with your recruitment?
It's good. June and early July was great because I got to see 6 schools. That was awesome. Recruitment's been going well. Besides that, now that I'm more focused on the team, been doing a lot of FaceTimes and calls and Zooms with coaches to just keep relationships going. So that's pretty much.
Yeah, you mentioned 6 schools you were at. Tell everyone which 6 schools you were able to get out and visit this summer.
I started off with Notre Dame, then Rutgers, then Penn State, then Ohio State, then Alabama, and then finished with Maryland.
Yeah, and I know you have 35, maybe approaching 40 offers, something in that range. Are those 6 schools, would you say, given they were a priority for you to get out to, are those kind of the schools you're mainly focused on, or where are things as far as, the number of schools you're currently looking at right now?
Yeah, those 6 are definitely awesome. I'm more focused on them. I still need to get out to a couple others that I haven't been able to this June because some of those schools were easy to get into, but definitely very interested in all of them. And hopefully after my season, go to some of the farther schools.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I know you in Jersey there, you guys do play on Friday nights, but there are a lot of Saturday games too. Are you going to be able to get to any games this fall, any college games this fall?
I'm not 100% sure, but I was thinking about the Rutgers Ohio State game because Rutgers is about 45 minutes from myself. So looking at both teams there, and then I do know we have a bye week, so then maybe look at something during that week too.
Yeah, for sure. If you get out to that Rutgers Ohio State game, let me know. I'll be there. I'll come down to the sidelines and say hey. But let's talk about Ohio State. This Ohio State podcast, and just want to talk about. I know we're out there for a visit, and we talked about it. I put an article up on BuckeyeScoop.com shortly after your trip. But tell everyone what was your thoughts on that visit? How did you feel about your first impressions on Ohio State?
That visit was awesome. Like that went very well. I was there for I got there the day before, so I got to spend a lot of time that day. I got to meet with all the coaches, the head coach, Coach Stud, Coach Cook. Like we did a private little session, so that was awesome. Learn from them. Got to meet a couple of New Jersey players like Luke Whippler, Cody Simon, a couple others. So it was a great day.
Yeah, they've done pretty well in this area. Ronnie Hickman from DePaul Catholic. You mentioned Luke Whippler from St. Joe's, Cody Simon from St. Peter's Prep. I mean, they had I can't believe I'm blanking on his name right now. Kevin Fetter from Bosco a few years back. He ended up.
I got to meet my boy
and Tyler Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so and Javante Jean-Baptiste from Bergen Catholic as well. So they've done pretty well. And knowing that they do have a bunch of guys from this area, does that make you a little bit more comfortable potentially going out there?
Yeah, definitely. Me and Tyler Friday and I went with my quarterback Nick Minacucci. We got to sit down for a couple minutes and just talk about everything, like how Bosco translates to Ohio State and similarities and pros and cons and a bunch of things.
Yeah, it's unfortunate Tyler got hurt. He's going to miss a good chunk of the season, but I think the good news for Ohio State fans, it probably means he comes back next year using that extra year of eligibility. Hopefully he could come back this year and make an impact for the conference championship run and playoff run and things like that for them. But yeah, he's a great kid and he definitely represents Bosco well. And I'm sure he was able to give you some good real insights as to the transition between Bosco and Ohio State, which isn't too much. I know you guys do a lot of the same things and a lot of the schools in your conference do. Talk to me about your relationship with the coaches. What is it like? How often are you talking to them when it comes to Ohio State?
I'm talking with either Coach Stud or Coach Cook on like weekly basis, FaceTime. So yeah, and then had a meeting after the workout. Had like a little film review with Coach Stud. So that was awesome.
Yeah, what are the things that they're like really focusing on when they talk to you about Ohio State, and kind of what's their pitch to you to come there?
Like Coach Stud mentioned a couple of times, like Buckeye University. So like the goal is for me to get my degree and then hopefully make it to the league. So he was just showing me how many players he developed, how he coaches them, how practices go. So that stuff mainly, and then we had academic presentation. So those couple things.
Kind of the whole 9 yards there they kind of gave you. And as far as I know you mentioned they're kind of in that group that you're a little bit focused on, or where would you say Ohio State stands for you right now? I know, again, it's early, but where would you say they're standing for you right now?
I'll say it's definitely like one of the mainly schools I'm focused on. It's definitely up there, and definitely want to come back and see it again.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know you're figuring out if that visiting them or Notre Dame or Alabama or whoever else may work out for the fall, but is it safe to say that if you don't get back there for the fall in a game, you might head back up there for like a junior day or something like that in January?
Definitely. We talked about that as well. So that could definitely, I could see that happening.
Awesome. And then, as far as, I guess, decision timeline goes for your recruitment, what are you thinking about as far as a commitment? Are you going to take official visits next spring, summer, make a decision? Are you going to take it all the way to signing day? You're going to try to make a decision as soon as it feels right. What are you thinking on that end?
After my official visits, and then I would like to do it before my senior season starts. And then, but if something else feels right, then I might just make the move there.
Absolutely. And last thing I'll ask you about recruiting before we get to one more question about you and let you go is, when you sit down to make the decision with your family, your coaches, anyone else who you're leaning on to kind of give you advice in this process, what are going to be the most important things you look at when you pick the school of your choice?
Mainly, number one, the degree, the academics, then the football team. I want to be with a winning culture, and as I said before, O-line, and see how much better I can get not only on the field, but off the field as well.
Awesome. That's all good stuff. And last thing before we let you go, everyone can watch your film on Huddle or see the videos we got, working out with Coach Stud and Coach Cook at Ohio State. We know you're a great football player, but tell us a little bit about Chase Bisontis off the field. What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
Oh man, I love the game so much. Just at practice, I just spent maybe 30 minutes watching film, just working on like the little things. I like to play video games. I like to play basketball, like street pickup basketball with my friends and things like that. Go out, simple things.
Nice. Love it. Well, look, man, thanks again for joining the show. Wish you the best of luck this coming season. We'll be definitely out there to see the Ironmen in action and hopefully get some more good photos, good footage of you, wrecking some defensive ends in the Super Conference. So best of luck. Thanks again. Appreciate all the listeners who joined. Definitely check out Chase on Huddle and be sure to give him a follow on Twitter as well.
Thank you.
This episode of Around the Oval was brought to you by Todd Pennington with Renovation Mortgage. If you've been thinking about refinancing or buying a house, check out our sponsor, Todd Pennington with Renovation Mortgage. They offer low rates for refinancing and home purchase loans, including first-time home buyer programs, down payment assistance, and cash-out home equity loans. Check out revolutionmortgage.com/tpennington.